Welcome. This is Pittmans Breakdown. It's going to be our YouTube channel and podcast, mainly about sports, but we're going to bring some other stuff to your attention, maybe political, maybe historical, maybe who knows, entertainment, who knows what it might be. But mainly it's going to be sports. These first couple weeks of our podcast is going to be mainly football, obviously, NFL, college, getting the kickoff this Thursday. Last week was the first college football game. We'll talk about some of those. And then in a couple weeks, when the hockey season starts, we'll talk about that. And then maybe do a little bit of the playoffs. The Braves aren't going to be in the playoffs this year, but we'll still talk a little baseball playoffs with y'all as we get closer to the World Series. But let's go ahead and jump into this. So Thursday, big Thursday, opening football. Super pumped to get the NFL back.
It'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Super pumped. So first game, Thursday night, 7:30. We have Chiefs, New England. Holm, tell me about the Chiefs. What do we got?
Well, last season's the Chiefs went 12-4. Made it to the playoffs. Didn't do too well. But this year, some key pointers about this game is Spencer Ware's out. He's on the IR, so he's out for the season. And Alex Smith, again, just an average quarterback. Nothing too special about him.
Yeah.
So
he did get benched in the 49ers in their Super Bowl run for Kaepernick. So interesting to see if Mahomes takes. They paid a lot of money, moved up a lot of draft picks for Patrick Mahomes. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Alex Smith this year. Who knows if he's going to be the starter by the end of the 2017 season.
Yeah, I don't think so personally.
I don't think he will either.
Patrick Mahomes is a very good quarterback.
Yeah, big old arm. Cannon. On the other side, we have Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. Super Bowl champs last year after the Falcons decided to choke it away and halfway through the third quarter. Patriots 12-4 last year. They had the number one points defense in the league. So not only do they have Tom Brady and the powerful offense, they also have a good defense as well. They also added Brandon Cooks this summer. Yeah. So they've got another weapon. They've got Gronk. They've got Cooks. So it'll be interesting to see how much better the Patriots might actually be than they were last year. I've got this game 24-17 New England. Some people might say a little close. I think Kansas City will hang in there, but New England pulls it away 24-17.
So yeah, I think the New England Patriots are going to win 24-7 because, I mean, in preseason, I know it's preseason, but they gave up nearly 200 yards rushing to the 49ers.
Yeah.
And that's pretty bad. So I think New England is going to rely on the run game and let Tom Brady just sit back on this one and just throw a couple touchdowns. Not too many.
Not too many for the GOAT. Then our next game is going to be the first college football game of the weekend. Auburn, number 13 Auburn at number 3 Clemson, 6 o'clock Saturday night. Clemson, obviously, big national championship win last year. Dabo takes him to the finals. Deshaun Watson, who is now gone, beats Alabama in the finals. Heart-wrenching game all the way down to the wire. Clemson, big win last week. Go 1-0, new quarterback, new team. Kelly Bryant is that quarterback. He is a junior. First start last week, obviously, because of Deshaun Watson and that offense from years past. I think it's going to be a good game for Clemson. But it all depends on how that quarterback plays. First game at home, first game in Death Valley.
First real road test.
First real test.
Not road.
Versus the Auburn Tigers. Speaking of those Auburn Tigers, Holden.
Well, last week Auburn won pretty handily over Georgia Southern, 41-7. And I think we're going to see a similar season to the 2013 season with all those miracle plays. Maybe not any of those type plays, but I think
same types of wins.
Yeah, same types of wins.
Same type of record.
Same type of record, yeah, possibly make it pretty far, make it to the SEC championship possibly. But I think they're going to go back to that offense and they're going to rely more on that run game with Kerryon Johnson, who had a pretty good game last week.
Yeah, and then speaking of the run game, Cameron Petway was suspended week 1. Yeah. He'll be back week 2, so it adds another monster to the running attack of Auburn, which has Jarrett Stidham as well, who can run the ball as well as throw it. So that game will be super intriguing, I think, in Death Valley.
What's your prediction for that game?
I've got a barn burner. I've got a rock and roller. I've got Clemson 42, Auburn 38, but Clemson pulls it out at home in a shootout.
See, I'm going a little bit different than you. I think Auburn's going to win this ball game.
Wow.
17-10. I think this is going to be a really hard defensive game. I think with Bryant's first game versus a real defense, I think it might be tough for them. So I think he's going to have to get settled in, but I don't think he's going to be able to pull the win off.
I would love an Auburn win, but I still have Clemson going in and beating. I still have Clemson defending home turf and beating Auburn. third game is Oklahoma at Ohio State. This is 5 versus 2. This is going to be intriguing, mainly because of some of the off-the-field media that has occurred this week. Baker Mayfield, QB1 for the Boomer Sooners, came out this week and said this was going to be the national championship game preview. So he thinks that both of these teams are still going to be playing in January for the title. It very well could happen in the playoff system where you can lose a game and still make it, especially a Big 12 versus a Big 10 team. That very well could happen, even though I do not think it will. Speaking of that, Baker Mayfield, Heisman Trophy candidate last year, he is their best chance to win, as well as going into a stadium like Ohio State. You need something big, defense, special teams. I think Oklahoma needs a big special teams play, flip the field, give the ball back to the offense, and have Baker Mayfield run down and score some points.
Yeah, if Baker Mayfield plays anywhere near how he played last week, it's going to be tough for them to lose because he was nearly perfect last week. But Ohio State, I mean, the Buckeyes, as much as it pains me to say, they're a good football team.
They're a great football team.
With J.T. Barrett, who seems like he's been there for 8 years. He's been there for so long. But, I mean, he's going to use his feet, but he can also throw the ball. So, I mean, he's a pretty good quarterback for them. And they're well-rounded on both sides of the ball. Their defense is pretty stout. So,
and with Urban Meyer, they're always going to have the special teams.
Yep.
So we'll see what kind of game we have here in Ohio State. What do you got holding for this game?
I say Ohio State's going to win this game 42-38. I think this game's going into overtime.
I would love to see an overtime game. Maybe we'll get a UT Georgia Tech situation in Ohio State. I've got 27-21 Boomer Sooners coming out and taking the win and jumping a couple spots in the rankings to beat number 2 Ohio State so Oklahoma on the road beating number 2 Ohio State. Our next game is a bias game. It is UT Chat versus number 12 LSU in Death Valley. We would normally not bring you such a low quality, maybe hype game, but we're big LSU fans. We're going to talk about them every week. It's going to happen. So UT Chat at number 12 LSU. Last week LSU beat BYU, who Lee Corso actually said on air during his pick that BYU was going to beat LSU. And the other guys, Herb Street and all of them, also didn't think that BYU was going to win, but they thought that LSU was going to slip and fall. We obviously did not see that with the 27-0 curb stomping of BYU. I think we can expect some similar things this week. Lots of running, both from Williams and Geis. They also need, I feel like, open the playbook a little bit.
Yeah, they need some new plays because, I mean, they're in 7 different plays possibly
plays last week. Lots of jet sweeps. That's going to work versus BYU. It's going to work versus Chat. It'll work versus Troy later in the season. It's not going to work versus Mississippi State next week. Auburn, Bama, Florida. Yeah. It's not going to work versus any of them. So I'm hoping for Matt Canada to open the playbook a little bit and give me some more Eddie O growl at the end of the week. Also, Danny Etling, it's still his job to lose. He is the starter until we hear otherwise. Miles Brennan, however, did play last week. So Etling needs to perform. He needs to go last week. Last week, I believe he was 14 of 17. We'll take it. 170 yards, no picks. We'll take it. That'll win us some games at LSU.
He needs to be an A.J. McCarron. He just needs to manage the game for the Tigers and let Darius Guys just put the team on his back.
And win that Heisman Trophy, baby.
All right. So UTC, well, they lost to Jacksonville State last week, 27-13. And LSU beat Jacksonville State last year with Etling's first drive. He threw a touchdown pass, a 50-yard touchdown pass, which was exciting that Brandon Harris was out for the year.
Sucks to be a Cardinals fan right now.
Yeah, Brandon Harris is just bad, all around bad. But the only chance to make this game competitive is UTC's QB, Nick Tahino. He's a transfer from Mississippi State. But honestly, I don't see anything close. My prediction for this game is 42-3. Mainly because last week, LSU didn't let BYU cross the 50. So if they get a field goal in there, good for them. But I don't see this game too close.
Yeah, I don't see it close either. I gave the Mocs a little bit better chance. I had them at 35-10. Same situation though. LSU, a couple hundred yards rushing last week, 97 yards given up total yards on offense, -5 rushing yards. I don't see the Mocs being able to move the ball very far. But I'm giving them 10 points, 35-10 LSU at home.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, LSU played 17 freshmen last week. Mm-hmm. And at one point they had 7 freshman starters on the field at once on their defense, with all the suspensions and all those players are coming back next week. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Arden Key practiced today in contact pass, so he will play. Probably not much. His first action will be probably versus Mississippi State, but we'll keep an eye on him as the week progresses. Our last game is an NFL game. It is Oakland at the Tennessee Titans at noon on Sunday. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Titans. Titans 9-7 last year. One game away from the playoffs. Lost to the Jags in week 16. Lost to the Jags. Got eliminated from the playoffs. Ended up winning week 17. Beat Houston. Ended up finishing 9-7. But again, missed the playoffs. They are now the favorite in the AFC South going into this season.
And a much better year from 2 years ago.
Go from 3-13, get the second overall pick, to 9-7. Huge win. It sucks because we didn't make the playoffs, but take it with a grain of salt. Huge win. Big Mike Mularkey fan after last season. Huge Mularkey fan. Again, AFC South favorites, which is good. That means that we have the talent, we have the team, but it also brings a lot of expectations the Titans haven't had since Steve McNair and Eddie George were there. And this game is going to be on the shoulders of number 8, Marcus Mariota. If he performs like he did in the last 12 games of the year last year, all those red zone touchdowns, all of that, the Titans will come out ahead in this game. But if he performs like he did the first 4 games, all those picks, 1 and 3, the Titans will not beat Oakland because they have Derek Carr, they have Amari Cooper. And we also, I think you'll talk about this a little later, but we've got a battle of the broken legs in Mariota and Derek Carr, so we'll see how their rehabs treated them this summer. And how they can recover.
Yeah, Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota both had the same injury.
Same week, I believe.
No, because Derek Carr played in the playoffs for a little bit and hurt himself there.
Okay.
But Marcus Mariota in that Jacksonville game. And that's what happened there. But it should be interesting to see both of them returning from injuries, how they play in a real game.
Not a preseason.
They play all 4 quarters. I think it'll be a great game. But it'll be interesting to watch. You talked about Amari Cooper and Derek Carr, but the third player, Marshawn Lynch, coming out of retirement.
The good. I'm super
coming out of retirement. They have a chance to be pretty good this season.
I agree.
So what's your prediction for this game?
I've got the Titans pulling it out at home. I don't think anyone's won in Nissan Stadium besides the Titans since 1998 when we started our franchise.
That's just not true.
So it's 21-17 Titans at home versus the Raiders.
I got the Titans 31-20.
Okay. Still winning at home, by the way.
Yeah, still winning at home. No home losses for us. But I think the Titans are going to win this game and start off 1-0. Be great for the city of Nashville because everyone's fiending for some sports right now in Nashville after this Preds playoff push.
Stand with us, baby. Thanks for tuning in. This was our first ever Pittmans breakdown. We're going to do a recap of the 5 games we talked about today that will be posted on Monday. Also, we have our Twitter will be in the bio right down here. So follow us on there, add us, DM us, tweet us, whatever, of games, teams, players, anything you might want us to talk about. Or if you think we missed a game, drop it in the comments. We'll reply to you on there and let you know our thoughts on that game. But thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on Monday. That one was significant.